don't be in a rush to start a business. Learn the process. Because starting my business was because I was sacked. I was sacked. Exactly. A lot of people don't come out to tell you the truth about life, but I was sacked because I wasn't performing well. Who would relate with you based on your past? So when people say that it's in the past, like, you really don't understand life. You want to learn software. Because I see a lot of people say that they want to learn, they are learning, they want to become data analysts, they want to become software engineers, and they're only learning it in their house. They would never learn that thing so well. You have to put yourself in the environment of where the profession that you're seeking is. Case study, you want to learn French. You can't learn French in Anambra. You have to go to French village. Find where the French people are speaking. While you're learning French, put yourself in the environment. A lot of young people that are not even in their 30s, and they're offering them $1 billion worth of sign-up fee for a period of time. So what does that tell you? That they would have never had the opportunity if not for AI. Yeah. And what should that tell us on a local platform is that very soon, most of the big organizations will be looking for people like you and I. Do that. Exactly.
Good day, everyone. Today, I'm your host for Your Success Podcast. And in today's episode, we have a veteran in the market space. We have a veteran in sales and marketing and also tech, Mr. Osita.
The pleasure.
Sorry, I messed up your names.
No, it's expected. When people get to meet themselves, we form bonds and we take it up from there. So they know nothing noted.
All right, before we jump into the podcast itself, we have a little culture that we imbibe here. Here we tell the honest truth, and we have to swear to it. So I'm going to ask you: are you a Christian?
I'm a believer.
So, I get that. I get that. So we have this. We have to raise up your right side, just like in court. When you raise up your right side, I say everything I say here.
Everything I say here
is the truth.
Is the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Based on what I want to tell you.
I love that. All right. So we're going to start like this. So tell us about yourself. We have to, before we go, we want to know you. We want to know you beyond Osita Okoli. Tell us about yourself.
Okay. Thank you, my friend Chedoze, for asking that question. So my name is Osita Okoli. I'm a fun-loving person, and I run a technology business that is based in Lagos, but it's about to ensure that African businesses succeed globally with the help of technology. So that's what they're going to be knowing for now. But as we proceed, we get to know more about each other.
All right. So you are into tech. I think your company is Collaborative Tech.
Yes, Collaborative Technology Innovation Limited. But for short, we call ourselves COTI.
Okay. Tell us more on this Collaborative Tech. What do you do? What's your job in the marketplace? What value do you bring to the marketplace?
So every businesses have two faces of their businesses. There's a business you are and there's the business you want to become. So I'm going to explain two of them. So the business we are currently is we help companies protect their information, because information is the value every company needs to protect. So we help companies protect their information in the cybersecurity space.
Okay.
Secondly, we provide infrastructure for those informations and for their services for them to meet their customers and serve their customers effectively. So we provide the platform for them to have their information stored and their services operational. Then we'd also layer it with cybersecurity solutions to protect their information from being exploited by people that want to use it for their selfish interest against the company's interest. Now, this is the business we are in. Now, the business we are growing as to become is that we are positioning ourselves to enable African businesses to succeed globally.
Wow.
You see, Africa is the new frontier. There's so much diamond in Africa. There's so much that can be done in Africa. And how we want to contribute to that narrative is that we want to provide technology services, technology consultation, technology solution to African businesses that want to compete with the likes of Amazon, with the likes of Facebook. We want to be the technology platform from those organizations to succeed and compete on a global scale.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. So you got the vision for this company, right?
Yes, I did.
You got the vision. You know, the Bible, somewhere in the Bible says, when you get catch the vision, write it in make it plain so that he who reads it will run with it.
Exactly.
The way you just stated it now shows that you know what you are doing. So, but we want to meet Osita before the coming of this vision.
Okay.
Who was Osita before collaborative tech, before Koti? Tell us.
Okay, so Osita was a young man in his teenage years that was going nowhere. Osita was a young man that loved alcohol, that was getting drunk most nights, and I was going nowhere. Then he met a friend, and that's why I'll tell people that a friend can actually change your life, a good relationship. I met a friend that introduced me to reading. Then the friend took me to a church where I got better information. And I was telling some people this earlier on, and I told them that most times you have to change your environment for something new to happen to you. So I left where I was and I went to a new place that I saw a bigger vision about life. I was there, then I got the idea of, or I didn't get the idea. Okay, I got the idea, yes, of going into modeling as a teenager. Yes, so I modeled for some very popular brand as a teenager in my late teens and also in my early 20s. I did some modeling stuff. I gained some money there. I'm sure you see I'm a good looking man. So,
The black man can see it.
so I modeled for some brand. I got some money. I started as a young man then because of the information I got and where the church I was going to at that point in time. I started a phone business center.
The time, that was
Yeah.
when the
That's when GSM came out. I started the business center. After the business center, I realized I wasn't making money because you might have passion, but if you don't have money, it's frustration. Then from a business center, I went into video games. I was doing video games, but it was against my values because I saw kids that were wasting their time.
tolerated the value.
Exactly. So for some people it's okay, but for me it was against my value, and that's when I realized that you should always do business that is in line with your values. Then from video games, I sold all I had. Then a friend had a dry cleaning company. I think I sold my business then for about 120K. So with the money I gathered it, I partnered with my friend and we started a dry cleaning company. I did the dry cleaning for about almost 6 years. Then while I was doing dry cleaning, a senior friend in the church I was going to asked me a question. He said, Osita, that will you keep doing dry cleaning and you build an empire? With the amount we are charging, his questions were so valid. However, dry cleaning helped form the person you are seeing here. It was part of my story since you asked the questions. So while he was saying that, with God being so kind, people that saw the way I was doing my dry cleaning, how I was passionate about selling dry cleaning, they offered me a job in IT. So they offered me a job in IT, and at this point, I didn't know anything about IT. I was a novice. I didn't know anything about IT. So I took the job, and I sent my first email. When I sent my first email, my boss called me and said, Osita, never send an email like this again, because I didn't know how to send an email. It was the first time in my life that I was sending an official email. But through the process, I learned. Now, I worked for people for over 12 years before I started mine. And I will tell you something about my story, what led to me starting. And I just want to say this thing to young people out there and also to people that don't be in a rush to start a business. Learn the process. Because starting my business was because I was sacked. I was sacked.
Why are you sacked?
Exactly. A lot of people don't come out to tell you the truth about life, but I was sacked because I wasn't performing well. I was sacked at my first place of work. Then again, I was sacked at my second place of work.
Wow.
And so I was sacked twice back to back. And because I was sacked, and the period I was sacked, I was about to get another job, but COVID happened. And the people that wanted to employ me, 2020, yeah. The people that wanted to employ me, they stopped employment. Was an international firm. They wanted to employ me, but because of COVID, they couldn't employ anyone again. So what that did, that left me stranded. And I had to take care of myself. I had to take care of my family. So what did I do? I went to meet my friend. I told them to employ me. My friends, they said, Osita, we can't pay you. Now what I know, you know. We can't pay you. We can't have two captains in the ship. I said, oh, well, I'm out of job. I need money. employ me. They said no. So I met a friend and I told him, can I use your company to sell? When they pay you, you pay me a commission of it. And I did that for about 2 years.
Wow.
So I wasn't earning a salary.
Okay, let's just pause here.
Sure.
Because just looking at you, you're a serial entrepreneur. In fact, you went from being a model to being a video gamer, from being a video gamer to being a dry cleaner, from
Exactly.
being a dry cleaner to IT. Wow, that's a long, and this is really for consecutive years. I mean,
Yes.
wow. So let's come to that. Just tell us a little bit of the process whereby you sell with someone else's front, someone else's company. Just like you said now, you told your friend that you want to sell this company because we're a marketing guru, we are sales and marketing guru, and we are coming there. We are coming there gradually. So can you please tell us more, elaborate on this? How can someone sell with someone else's front?
So it's just simply this. Everything starts with relationship. I didn't meet them randomly.
Okay.
These are people I've interacted with in business before now. They knew my integrity. As human beings, we need to realize that our past is also our future.
Yeah.
People would relate with you based on your past.
Yeah.
So when people say that is in the past, like you really don't understand life when people make those statements. So because I've interacted with these people and they saw that I had a level of integrity, they said I could go ahead and use their company to sell. So what I was doing was, now it's in the IT field, and most of our customers are in the financial sectors. And I had relationships, existing relationship from my past employment in the FSI space, in the financial service industry space. That's what FSI means. I was able to go there, told them, can I use your company to sell? Don't pay me a salary. Just buy me credit on my phone so I can call. So I wasn't paid a salary. They said, okay, we'll give you. Exactly. So that's where the name collaborative technology came in place. Because I was going about collaborating with people, different organizations, in order to take care of myself. So I did this for about 2 years, and a friend of mine saw me in one of the banks and asked what I was doing. I explained to him what I'm doing, and he said, why have you not started your business? That's the same thing. After all, I'm not earning a salary, so what do I have to lose? And capiche, we are here, and operational, we are almost going to 5 years now. We have a good number of staff strength, and we are growing. Next year, we're still going to increase. We have board of directors in our organization. We believe so much in governance. We believe in trying to get things done. We're a growing firm with a vision to, like I said earlier on, to make African business competitive globally with technology.
I want to pick the word competitive. This is the second time you're mentioning it in this little comment. So, the word competition, how do you explain competition in the business space? What is your concept of competition in the business space? Because
Fantastic.
your vision is to promote competition. According to what you just told me, your vision promotes competition. So, before I ask you about healthy or unhealthy competition, I want to know what's your notion of competition?
I'll start with your last statement, healthy or healthy competition. I would say that everything is depending on how we see life.
Okay.
Perspective, exactly. The fastest men on the track, I'm sure if they were running alone, they wouldn't have crossed that path.
Yeah.
And when they are preparing, they realize that they have other people that are working as hard as they are. And everybody's want that same goal.
Yeah.
In business space, we must tell ourselves the truth. Everybody wants that one customer's resources. So there's competition. And when I say to make African companies competitive, it means that African companies will grow to the point that they can compete with foreign brands.
Oh,
That's
wow.
the idea. So we want that if in Europe, a Nigerian firm will be competing for a business in Europe, a Nigerian firm will be competing for a business in Asia. It's not just going to be the Chinese and the foreign companies. Yeah, African companies have all it takes to stand tall and compete from a global perspective. So the idea for when we say we are going to ensure that we're empowering African business to compete globally.
So in a nutshell, you're just making the playing field level.
Exactly.
For businesses in Africa.
Making it level, but more importantly, ensuring that African businesses grow to the point that they can compete.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you a question because number one, your company is definitely investment to tech. Now, what is the future of businesses with this fast? You think tech is doing the way tech is going now, what do you think is the future of businesses? There is this fear that people are going to lose their jobs. It says, especially when it comes to when you hear AI and whatever. It's a fear that people nurture in their hearts. So what do you think? What is the future of businesses with respect to tech?
I would say the future is better than ever before.
Wow.
And yes, people are going to lose their job. As in, a lot of people will lose their job. A lot of people will lose their businesses because, again, it's life. In the Stone Age, those that kept playing with stones, they lost it. Even some animals died. But those that decide to evolve would be better off for it. But beyond just those losing their job, exactly. But beyond just losing business, losing their jobs, there's also going to be thousands of jobs to be created. Thousands of jobs. Case in study, when IT came in, people lost their typewriting job. But now thousands of jobs were created because of technology. Now you have several technology. Yeah, so many things. Exactly. You have even the programmers. A lot of jobs were created because the typewriter died. But imagine if the typewriter never died. This wouldn't have been created. That's number one. Now for businesses, I would say that every business founder started their business by not being risk averse. They were risk takers. And it means that since AI is posing a threat to a lot of businesses, it's an opportunity for a lot of business owners now to have their founders mentality, to say, you know what, I don't know this thing is a gray area. I'm going to invest my time into it. Because one of the things I believe is that everybody can learn anything.
Yeah.
If I could learn how to send emails, and let me say this to some people out there, if backing up with the statement I made, that if I could learn how to send emails, I just want to encourage somebody out there that doesn't have a school certificate and feels that he can't do great things in the corporate world without a school certificate. I didn't have a school certificate 5 years into my working experience, but I got a job, I was working, I was diligent, I was learning. One of my mentors, he said that academics and education are two different things. What we need to do is that we need to start educating ourselves. So you're in a field, you need to educate yourself in that field. YouTube has been a blessing to me. It's taught me so many things that, and again, beyond just YouTube, the relationship I keep. So for anybody that wants to learn new things, before I go back to the question that you asked, is study, but more importantly, put yourself in the environment of what you want to learn. Because environment is very important. I would say that put yourself, so you want to learn software. Because I see a lot of people say that they want to become data analysts, they want to become software engineers, and they're only learning this in their house. They would never learn that thing so well. You have to put yourself in the environment of where the profession that you're seeking is. Case in study, you want to learn French. You can't learn French in Anambra. You have to go to French village. Find where the French people are speaking. While you're learning French, put yourself in the environment.
That some things are taught, why some things are caught.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you're not in that environment, there are some little cues that you are not get, and
Exactly.
that's what makes you a master.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's just to encourage somebody out there about your certificate should not limit you. Now back to your question about would AI take a lot of businesses away? AI is already making a lot of people millionaires. For example, I'm sure we're all aware about it that Meta, which is Facebook and the rest, yeah, they not just that guy, they're employing a lot of young people that are not even in their 30s, and they're offering them $1 billion worth of sign-up fee for a period of time. So what does that tell you? That they would have never had the opportunity if not for AI. And what should that tell us on a local platform is that very soon most of the big organizations will be looking for people like you and I
do that.
Exactly.
So the best thing for young people to do now is to go queue and go learn.
Go and learn. And when we say young is not about age. Young is about the mindset. A young person is someone that is always curious about life, that wants to learn, that has never gotten to that point that is eager to learn.
Wow, I'm thinking we are of the same school of thought, life school of thoughts.
Interesting.
All right, you've mentioned one important thing here: relationship. I keep, the environment I stay. So I want to ask you about relationship, but not in that light, not in the perspective perspective. You know, there's this thing that happens to young people. When I say young people, I'm talking about people of a certain demographics and age bracket,
Yes.
and especially people that want to get serious with business and make, this I'm talking about success here.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, how do you deal with the distraction of relationship? Because even though relationship is a vehicle that takes you to where you want to be, for some people, relationship is the same vehicle that takes them back.
I
A vehicle
agree.
can
I
go
agree.
can be going forward
I
and it
agree.
can still turn you back.
I
So
agree.
how do you deal with relationship now? I'm talking about romantic relationships with a lady or relationship that with guys that will maybe taking you out of your focus. How do you manage that?
If you talk about romantic relationship, I will stay here for a very long time. Because who doesn't like that feeling of romance?
Let's
Come
talk
on,
about
let's be real
let's talk
about it.
about it. So let's talk about
You know,
it.
so for a young man that wants to get into a romantic relationship, I would answer that question by saying what Kevin. There's a guy called Kevin in Shark Tank, and he said he gave one young man this advice. He said his girlfriend was always told him this young man was not yet in school, but he built a business that was generating over 800 and something thousand dollars in a year. And his girlfriend told him that you're not giving me enough time. I'm going to break up with you. And so the young man was confused and said that he wants to leave his business so that he can stay with his girlfriend. And Kevin advised him, he said, which one is easy to replace? Is it easy to replace your business or is it easy to replace the relationship? And I would say, if you're not married to someone, you can get a better person. So
That
for
was
young,
hard. That was
for
that was
young,
that was a hard drop there.
it's reality.
That was a hard drop there.
It's reality. So a relationship that is not taking you to where you want to go to, you should drop it. Some people, for example, I see young men and young women too, that they are starting their life and the money they should use in taking care of themselves, they are giving it to someone that they have. You know, you won't grow because first of all, the person is in lack. If somebody is in lack, the person is in lack, and you need resources to take care of yourself. So that's in the area of romantic relationship. Let's not stay there so long. However, in romantic relationship, if you find someone that aligns with your value, if you find someone that is challenging you, someone that wants to grow with you, then you want to stay in that relationship. That's really good. And there are many places you can find such people.
Okay,
But we'll go to that later on.
before we get out of the
Yeah.
romantic whatever. Now I'm going to ask you, at what point is it good? I'm not talking about. I'm not trying to profile only for guys. I'm talking about when I say guys, I'm talking about the male and the female. At what point in your career as an entrepreneur should you get married?
Marriage is a personal thing. It's so personal that it's a conversation in another
Understood,
direction. So it's best we focus on relationships that are taking you somewhere else because that question is there's no one answer that fits
Just give
all.
us a recap.
There's no
Give us a frame.
Marriage is just like you asking someone a question that doesn't have an answer, right? It really doesn't have an answer. Some people, for example, Paul the apostle in the Bible was never married. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Let's use Paul. No, Jesus was married.
Jesus Christ was married.
Jesus was married to the church.
Okay,
The church is the bride of Christ. So, but
amazing.
let's use Paul for an example. Paul made some statements that's shocking. He was advising young people, especially when he was advising the young pastors, that if you know that you are not, that you cannot, you understand what I'm saying?
I don't understand. You have to tell me. Understand what? Please tell me.
All right,
I've not read that scripture before.
Okay.
Please, if you know you can't.
Paul was advising them that if you want to stay focused, if you know that you want to
Wow,
go
is that what Paul said?
No, I'm kind of paraphrasing what he said.
I want the real verse.
No. I'm kind of paraphrasing what
Tell
he
me.
said. So he was kind of saying, if you want to focus in this ministry thing and do it well, it's best, according to him, to stay single. You understand? You have all the time. So that has always given me concern. Has always given me headache. Like I'm only concerned. Okay, so what are you trying to say?
So you need yeah.
That's why I asked, because it's a question of focus. For you to be the fact that you're already this kind of entrepreneur tells me something about your focus. You are laser focused. So and I know you're married now. So I want to know at what point. That's why I asked you a direct question.
Yes.
You went to. So at what point were you like, okay, now I can marry?
So I will start by saying that everything in the scriptures is content dependent. What I mean, when Paul was making that statement, at what context exactly? At what situation was he making that statement? Paul made that statement at the point that the church was going through a lot of, what do you call it again? They were, what's the right word?
Chaos.
They were going through a lot of persecution. That's what I'm. So he was telling young people that if it's better not to be married at that point in time, because the church was going through a lot of persecution. So if you're not married, you're not going to have a lot of emotional entanglement because of the persecution the church was doing. But Paul was not saying that people shouldn't get married because they want to retain the focus. In fact, I would say that I'm married with 3 kids, and because of my family, I have laser focus.
Okay.
Right? I have laser focus. So it's context dependent. So but why Paul was, but Paul now said that if you can't hold your body, marry, right? So marriage is a good thing. If you are but first of all, in marriage, just like in every other thing, you have to be the right person. So it's not, a lot of people focus on getting the right person, but you have to be the right person to attract the right person. But well, you have to select the one that like. But with that being said, right, in the area of relationship that should take you to your goals, you would know when people are distracting you. It's it's com- you will know when people are distracted. You will know when people don't fit into your concept of life. Exactly. You would know, you know that.
End this conversation here because of your spent quite some time here. Thank you so much for having me. In fact, I think I'm going to have this conversation with you
Yeah,
next time.
I would say this, and I'll close by saying this, that if you're a young man and young woman out there and you failed several times, I want you to realize that failure is an outcome. Failure is not final. Failure is failure is an outcome. The same way success is an outcome. That use your failure and use your success as a motivation to get yourself to the next level. We are Nigerians, we are Africans, we can do great things. And just like my friend here, Dozie and his team are doing great things in this podcast, you can also do great things. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
And
Sir.
it's a pleasure meeting you
Pleasure.
and your wonderful team at the background that the audience can meet. Yes. Yes.
So if you are watching this video, I want you to make sure, I want you to put into practice everything you've learned from this video. See you on the next episode. Your success.